Hey there.
It is the 80s, the golden era of one-liners, and you chose "Hey there" for your dramatic entrance? Come on, Nancy, watch more TV.
It's just that rabies are like my #1 greatest fear, and I think we should probably get you to a doctor like really soon, because once the symptoms set in, it's too late. You're already like dead.
If it really was her #1 fear, Robin would know that it can take months until symptoms appear. The real reason Steve should see a doctor is that it's dumb to die of rabies, especially if it's because of something a guy on the internet told him. Also, the subtitles for this scene omitted like half of the times that Robin said like. So I had to go back and add them in myself because the Netflix subtitler got lazy. Anyway, here is a sin.
All right. There's not that many.
Just think of how you guys could have slipped back through the portal if someone hadn't been talking about rabies. Sure, Coca-Cola is probably evil in its own right. However, if 11 must kill at product placement, why not take aim at the true carbonated abomination known as Moxie?
But I don't see any progress out there, Martin.
To be fair, she did ragdoll a bunch of security guards 2 movies ago. I mean, episodes. F it, I mean movies. These things are too damn long.
If you want Nina to succeed, you cannot hide from the truth, no matter how frightening it may be.
Elle can't remember what happened because she's distracted by Matthew Modine's hair. And because bullshit sci-fi procedures don't work if you take away the suspense.
The door is always open. This place is not a prison.
She's been stopped from leaving under her own accord twice. He needs to at least acknowledge the possibility that this is an escape room.
You chose to trust me once.
This works.
How much time did you skip?
Hard to say. When you started bloating your episodes to over an hour, I began to skip more frequently.
The good news here is that I'm pretty sure that wooziness is not a common symptom of rabies.
But weakness/fatigue is a symptom, Robin. Do you want Steve to live, or do you just want to be invited onto a podcast?
I highly doubt that the Hawkins PD has grenades, Robin.
The militarization of the police misses the one scenario where it actually makes sense.
It must be hardwired into us to reject our fathers, so we can grow, move on.
I can empathize with how you came to this conclusion in your current circumstances while simultaneously judging you for trying to logic your way out of the idea that you're a bad dad. It's called sympathy. Part of me thinks this plan is stupid and has too many moving parts. Part of me thinks it's bullshit that Murray and Yuri look so much alike. And part of me thinks it's gonna work regardless because it has to, even though it was ridiculous to even attempt.
Last night, your sister 11 suffered a concussion.
And we didn't even let her change out of her hospital gown before coming here to further traumatize her.
But injuries of this nature don't simply happen.
Trying to evil doctor when you have more accountability than the NFL.
Then why did you attack 11?
Did she tell you that?
Now I know that a person with enough brain power to be a telepath can also be an idiot. You may as well have signed the concussion you gave her.
Now, I don't know what happened between you two, but if I were you, I would get her back.
Show triangulates love while under the threat of attack by demon bats.
We've been collared by the law. I repeat, we've been collared by the law.
No one right outside the bathroom hears Dustin, even though he is using his outside voice in complete disregard for all the porcelain that should have reverberated so loud Susie could hear it.
You get lawyers? No, we're not ready for that yet.
Asking the cops if you need a lawyer instead of asking your lawyer. While being under suspicion of aiding a serial killer, no one notices Dustin walking around with this big-ass walkie-talkie.
You don't think they went through? Through Watergate? Without us? Without a plan? Without weapons?
Dustin puts himself and Lucas on the same level as a plan and weapons. Even as they grow up, the sin is still kids.
Or I told Dustin what I found under your bed.
What did you find under your bed?
Asking this question.
I smother you in your sleep.
Kids.
Holy sh**. Holy sh**.
Holy sh**.
Holy shat tricks.
Those aren't guns.
Eddie Munson would be the armorer at TVSins.
It tickles.
Sparkle fondlers.
It's working.
There is no way she can know that the specific message Eddie is fingering through the chandelier is actually being received. Not without Dustin talking so loud that he can be heard in another dimension, but not by the adults in the other room anyway.
Юрий Измайлов. Вот, наконец, мы и встретились.
Subtitles must have a mistranslation. I am certain he said, "How convenient that we have never met before."
У того Юрия, у него одного винтика не хватает. У тебя большая нехватка.
Ah, the old false tension fake out for the win. I mean, for the sin.
Выбирайте, какие хотите.
It may have been a long shot, but none of these assholes request his gun.
Если пошевелитесь до гудка, вас застрелят.
Mixing some squid things into my stranger games. The Demogorgon can only be so scary once you realize that after feeding time, they do somehow get it back into its pen. I'm guessing with more than a strong suggestion.
Are you open for something a little more challenging?
Playing the common noun game instead of just simply asking, "Want to play chess?"
He knows you're more powerful than the others.
Elle believes this based on the evidence of her routinely getting her ass kicked.
But they are watching us closely.
So closely, in fact, that you're able to hash out an escape plan and exchange this access card all while on camera.
It is time you are free from this hell.
Don't be ridiculous. There's still 47 minutes left in this episode and another 2 bloat fests to go after we get through that.
How many times do I have to be right on the money before you guys just trust me?
They're not disagreeing with him or doubting him. They just have no idea what he's talking about. The only reason for Dustin to be mad is that the script thinks it's endearing.
How far is your trailer?
7 miles.
The fact that he knew the exact distance from Nancy's house is baffling and more than a little creepy.
Oh, little pigs.
Not unless some sort of deputization happened completely off screen.
Let Officer Callahan in.
Talking like this to children.
I guess it's just a minor misdemeanor.
The 4 different cops and a gaggle of parents in this house will be stopped by the slashing of one tire.
Are you up for some more lessons?
When I asked my magic sin ball if this was gratuitous nostalgia bait, the answer came back as signs point to yes. The key card does get her past the door, but we know they have security cameras, so it's very convenient that the person who should have been watching them is out taking a dump, I presume. Show could have given us something here. At least show Elle doing some IBS ESP or something.
Here, your papa calls it soteria.
If one knows exactly where this thing is, why can't he cut it out of himself with a knife? And I refuse to believe that ripping it out telekinetically is more surgically accurate. Hopper will pay no price for pouring the fire accelerant all over his fingers.
Что этот американец делает?
What the? You were closer. He has less information than you do.
Oh, come on!
Mission critical equipment doesn't work when the character needs it to. Cliché. Hungry monster stays in its pen waiting for Godot, or the opportunity for a jump scare. I'm gonna go with Godot.
Your friend is already dead.
Premature condolences. Demogorgon Ramsay stereotypically jumps over the guy I know because the meat of a series extra is always more tender.
Эту дверь только тараном откроешь. Дай ему поесть.
Correction, they just need a series of Deus Ex Machinas, starting with a guy who is content on letting doors do all the work. In this series, Murray has gone from fighting the Cobra Kai rejects to beating a room full of trained soldiers. Show must have a black belt in plot karate. Footage of me when my snack gets jammed in the vending machine somehow makes it into the episode.
But out of one prison into another.
Technically, it's the same prison, just a shittier view.
For a second, I thought we had you medical.
Thinking that not being eaten alive by a nightmare creature isn't a miracle. Joyce and Murray hit the button in the control room and then managed to be there in front of Hopper just as the doors opened. Did they teleport with the power of emotional catharsis? Excessive slow motion huggerbration when the only thing separating you from a murderous creature is 2 inches of Soviet steel. But also, as ridiculous as this whole jailbreak is, it was worth it just to see the look on Joyce's face when she sees him, and the look on Hopper's face when he hugs her. Oh, one sappy sin-off.
It's gotta be a Guinness World Record. Most miles traveled interdimensionally.
Will still has to hold that record, and he did it on foot, Robin.
Holy shit, this is trippy.
Hi, Trippy, I'm Dad. Sorry, I always wanted to say that. Won't happen again. Probably. 11 couldn't even win at Plinko, but suddenly she's able to do neck surgery. I like this scene better when Vader did it.
Those stains are, I don't know what those stains are.
Not washing your bedding once a week.
And if my theory is correct...
Sure, this will save your friends, but I'm also pretty sure that cosmology has just been upended by Dustin's theory of Stranger Things, and the show is just going to ignore that.
Pick up, Nancy!
Vecna.
Letting the 4 people escape your bat sentries and wander around the Upside Down for a few hours before finally deciding to attack one of them. Can we get a flashback to some kind of sports ball tryouts that might explain why Vecna sucks so much at defense? When we asked for justice for Barb, we were not asking for her to be brought back even deader somehow.
When I kill someone, I never forget.
Do you want a cookie or something? Oh, sorry, I've always wanted to say that. Sorry, won't happen again. Probably. Inducing a menstruation nightmare is just ghoulish overkill. Someone has to be actively transmitting on a walkie-talkie for those sounds to be coming through. Someone died with their finger on the button and dramatic timing in their heart. Dr. Brenner is not dead. Somehow. Again. Out of everyone, and I mean everyone there that deserved to die, he was top of that list, but no, let's just knock him out for some reason. It's like blowing up all the TIE fighters at the end of A New Hope and then leaving the Death Star intact. Running toward the screaming instead of fleeing out of the sewer you were shown earlier while flipping the bird to all of Indiana on your way to a new life on a coast somewhere.
I see you've been looking for me, Nancy.
Passing up the perfect opportunity to open with, "Hello? Is it me you're looking for?" Discount stained glass window from Beauty and the Beast.
Alice, no running.
That was barely a jog. Let your daughter climb the stairs in peace.
My parents thought a change of scenery, a fresh start in Hawkins might just cure me.
Thinking that moving to Indiana is a solution to any problem.
Like me, they are solitary creatures and deeply misunderstood.
You know, I think most people understand spiders. They're just icky. You can be understood and icky.
They are gods of our world.
I don't recall ever placing a god in a jar. And you only get away with this statement because Elle wasn't allowed to go outside.
A cruel, oppressive world. Each life, a faded, lesser copy of the one before. Wake up, eat, work, sleep, reproduce, and die.
Monologuing on to pad the runtime when you could have just said, "I'm evil and killing everyone because I had an existential crisis and I dig spiders." Also, performing the red band version of your detailed villainous thesis for a frightened child. She's 7, not 007.
With each life I took, I grew stronger.
Holy shit. This monologue is still going.
But the truth
is that this is a massive dump of exposition. And even though Jamie Campbell Bower and his huge bloodshot eyes are doing a great job of delivering it, I'm beginning to think that this could have just been an episode on its own. Dr. Brenner gives out shitty tattoos that are almost as bad as the panther with a creepy smile I got in Tampa on spring break. The problem with mind battles is that without the flickering lights and dubstep soundtrack, it's sometimes just two people pointing at each other and grunting. Villains who waste time rotating their opponent instead of just snapping their neck.
It wasn't supposed to end like this.
Premature regrettabration.
I love you.
What I learned today is that if I'm ever losing a fight and I need a little extra oomph, all I have to do is harness the power of love, and I will be infused with the strength of Huey Lewis in the News and possibly even Celine Dion. Is it weird that I like that superhero landing? I'm sinning it anyway, but I did like it. Looks like we can check off Elle screams while using her powers from this season's bingo card. Oh, thank goodness that tendril moved aside or we'd have had no idea who he was. Also, it's wild that his clothes and body hair were scorched off by the lightning, but his amateur tattoo somehow survived.
He's a little bit long-winded. He doesn't translate very well into our generation, and his jokes are terrible.
Today's lesson is going to be about rules.
A lot of you have been breaking the first 2 rules of Fight Club.
We've been collared by the law. I repeat, we've been collared by the law. Do you copy?
Mills is dead, kid. So's his pal.
Okay, just hear me out.
It's a steak with water dumped on it.
Tickles.
Kind of feels good.
Did you bring protection?
I used to be a good boy. I ate all my vegetables.
This will lead you out beyond the lab fence to the woods.
Well, it's definitely a hole. They weren't lying about that.
Hey, we're stuck in this pool, dude. Can you help us out?
A cruel, oppressive world. Wake up, eat, work, sleep, reproduce, and die. Each life, a faded, lesser copy of the one before.
What a monologuist.
I can't hold it any longer. I can't. I'm weak. Too weak.